you're off.
Thank you, sir. Okay, guys, I'm just going to pull up this PowerPoint real quick. Give me 1 second. Hey, guys, thanks for coming in. Siabin, how do you pronounce your name? Can you hear us?
I believe it's Shoban.
Shaban.
Yes.
Paul, thanks for dropping in. Yannick, hello.
Hello.
Hey, Yanni.
Just texting me. Okay, guys, I will share my screen.
My computer just froze. What did I miss?
No worries. We're
Okay.
waiting for you. I'm still getting set up a little bit, so no worries at all. Hi, Christina.
Hello.
Okay, guys. If you don't know me, I'm Joseph Acosta. I've been at the office for about 2 years now. I've been a licensed realtor in San Diego for 4 or 5 years now, probably full time for the past 2 years. My mom was an escrow officer for about 20, 25 years. So that's kind of how I got my foot into the door. And I'm born and raised here in San Diego. So I'm very familiar with the area and I know plenty of people here. So that's kind of where my main business comes from, Sphere, referrals. Although at the beginning of my career, I really had to kind of prove to my family and friends that this was going to be my career and that I knew what I was doing. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to teach this class, is because I feel like I've tried every single lever of lead generation. What's worked for me, I've consulted with a lot of other top producing agents to see what was working for them and kind of manipulated their scheme and plan to get more leads and more clients. So I kind of want to put the ball in your court and kind of just see what you guys are doing for more business and what's been working with you. If you have any questions, I'm not going to really go off the template that they sent me. I kind of like to have more personal back and forth and see what's working for you guys. Vito, are you full? Do you have another full-time job?
No, I'm not. I actually do not. So I am working on this. I would say full-time, but to be honest, it isn't full-time.
Of course.
But yeah, working on it. To, I'd say marginal success. No listings, no buyers at this point. So very much in lead gen mode and in just trying to figure out my niche.
Of course.
I think I shouldn't say I think. I kind of settled on my niche and I'm working it. And I'm making progress. It's interesting. So I live in Kensington and just personally, I'm really passionate about old homes, historic architecture, et cetera. So I'm really working in the neighborhood hard. And there are 2 guys that really dominate in this area. And, they both have been here for a long time and they really own it. But at the same time, I'm sorry?
I agree.
Yeah, they do. But at the same time, I think there's always room for variety. And, being a local resident, one of them is a resident, the other one just has a physical a business office on the main drag on Adams Avenue. But
Mercer.
yeah, Mercer is that one. And then Mike Tristani is the other one. And
Um,
those two really have the lion's share of the market here. But at the same time, I think they're actually both friends. I know them both. I worked with them. I actually used Patrick twice when I bought and sold, and I'm on a historic designation committee with Mike Tristani. So I'm working with them both and in different ways. And the thing I'm doing is I'm just working the neighborhood hard, and I'm just trying to make sure that all of my neighbors and neighborhood know that I'm in real estate as well. And I've gotten myself involved on like the Kensington Talmadge Community Association, the Kensington Talmadge Planning Group, and now the Kensington Talmadge Historic Designation Committee. So I'm getting myself like really indoctrinated into these community groups where I'm meeting a ton of people. I'm showing up at big community meetings. I'm giving presentations. So I feel like that's exactly what I want to do from a raising awareness, who I am in the community that I live and that I want to farm. But I think it takes time. And all of this has been taking place over the last couple months. And now I've had a couple dialogues with some neighbors, some elderly neighbors that are considering making some changes. None of them are acting at this point. Both have mentioned that they may do something next year. I've planted the seed that I'm in real estate, would be happy to help them in any way. If they want to, get a preview of what their equity looks like, I can do a market analysis for them. If they need any, references for contractors to help them getting their homes prepared, I'd be happy to help with that. So I'm definitely making myself available and kind of throwing it out there. But at this point, nothing yet. So I'm just kind of staying the course and working it, but that's kind of where I'm at.
Nice. I love that. It sounds like you have a great path ahead of you and you kind of know what you're doing, and here to help any way I can.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Do you have like an elevator pitch, value proposition that you kind of push?
If anything, it's just that, being, loving the neighborhood, being a historical buff, being an architecture buff, I know the neighborhood better than anybody else. I've lived in it twice. I lived here and then moved away and then moved right back into the same neighborhood. I'm actively involved in all of these community groups. So I know the nuances of the neighborhood, the nuances of streets, the desirability of this little enclave and, just that kind of a thing. But I don't know if I'd say I haven't narrowed it down to a 2-minute speech. It's just kind of this little niche that I just want to work.
Yeah, it's a tough neighborhood to get into.
It is.
Very tough. I had a great thought. Are you on Nextdoor by chance?
Yeah.
You are? Nice. I would highly suggest that, and just come from value on there. I mean, there's so much. I used to be on Nextdoor and I used to see so many people asking questions just about everything in general. And I feel like you can always bring some value on those posts.
Yeah. Just be the guy that has the answer, like has a referral or has the answer. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I live here in University Heights, and there's plenty of people that have top profit share. And I used to door knock a lot of University Heights, and a lot of the homeowners that I used to talk to were kind of just getting tired of these top producers of the profit share and kind of wanted to not even consult or get advice from them. They're just some way they cut ties with them, if it's been bad blood or bad relationships or bad experiences with them. So I think there's always a good amount of people who are looking to use someone else.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was at a neighborhood kind of get together, and one of the neighbors said, he was like, how are you going to compete with Mercer? Like, the guy owns the neighborhood. And I said, because not everybody wants to go through Mercer. I said, yeah, he's very good at what he does. I have nothing bad to say about the guy. I think very highly of him. I'm like, but not everybody, it's
everyone
like,
doesn't mesh.
Yeah, one size doesn't fit all. And it's just offering a different alternative, but clearly someone who's knowledgeable about the neighborhood and can help them out in the same way.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, Vito, I would go with you because I don't even know him. So right off the bat, I know you, so I wouldn't go with him. I don't even know who he is. So
Awesome.
there's people that you know that, you know what I mean? That they're like, well, I trust you because I know where you come from, but
Yeah.
I don't know that guy. He could be so popular, but no idea.
And the cool thing is because being on the planning group, the community association, and this historic committee, I'm meeting all these people. Now he's not on any of those because he doesn't live in Kensington. So in that regard, that's actually a bit of an advantage. Now Mike Tristani is on all of those. But I also, Mike has worked for a long time, and at some point Mike is going to tap out of this thing. So I still think there's room. It's just a matter of being patient.
Agreed, for sure. Christina, are you, I don't think I've met you before. How long have you been with our office?
For like 2 seconds. So I've been for a couple weeks. I'm still trying to get through my orientation. I do have a full-time job. I work for Delta Airlines. I do customer service at the airport. Yeah, so I'm pretty much used to getting yelled at and dealing with people who are really upset. So, but I've always
This
been
is
wanting to
perfect.
I've always been wanting to get into real estate. And I feel like with COVID, it kind of, it gave me the push because we were on reduced hours and yada, yada, yada with everything that happened. So I was like, well, now I have the time. I can't work overtime. So this is perfect. And yeah, and now I'm trying to I work nights, so it's kind of good. I just try to wake up early, do all the trainings possible, just keep myself engaged while I'm trying to get through the orientation. I just have to watch like all the contracts videos and then I'm pretty much done. And yeah, I just hope that I live in the South Bay. I live in Otay Ranch, so a little bit far from Kensington, but I do love that area. So I don't really know like what my niche is gonna be. I don't know. So I'm still kind of like.
Yeah, that's why you're here. That's what we'll try to figure out today. We'll explore a lot of different options, and there's so many different ways people get business, and I think it's ultimately just trying out the ones that strike your heart first and kind of go with those and see how they go, and then kind of just explore and get creative.
Yeah, there's a lot of new construction here, but I'm sure there's already a bunch of realtors over here just jumping on that.
Yeah, but it only takes one relationship for a lot of the builders to really want to work with you.
That's true. I actually live in the communities too, so maybe.
You live where?
I live in like the communities here, so I like in the new build. So I was like, maybe I should just talk to my neighbors in case they are going to sell, because there's a lot of military. So I was thinking, since I'm already kind of like down here, I never thought I was going to think about focusing here, but if they're going to move, which sometimes they have to move at, like tomorrow, they want to sell as soon as possible. So if I kind of build relationships with them, maybe I could sell their homes.
Yeah. I just getting a sense of talking to you, you seem very, like you're not afraid of having a lot of conversations like upfront or cold calling potentially. Like that seems like it wouldn't scare you at all.
Yeah, I think it would be a little bit weird as far as like what to say, but once I learn what to say, I think it'll be fine. And if people like turn me down, I'm just like, okay, like I'm not for everyone, but maybe they'll still turn me down, but then they'll remember me and then be like, oh wait, maybe I'll contact her. So I'm not really scared of rejection. So
yeah, I can get a sense of that. I'm gonna share my screen here, and then I'm gonna show you guys something that I saved yesterday. Are you guys able to see this? It's just my desktop right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so here on the left are several different prospecting ideas that you can do to gain more business. Have you guys heard of all of these? Or do you have any questions about any of these?
Actually, this looks similar to Ashley's, was it Ashley's presentation that had this?
Maybe.
Maybe?
When was this?
Actually, just like a week ago.
Really?
Yeah, she
Oh,
did
was
a
it
business-
business planning?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I don't remember if that was that or if it was maybe, if it was, I don't know. Did anybody else go to that?
I did not go to that, but it could have been. This is from lead generating in a shift that was presented yesterday to all of KW. So it could have potentially came from the same place. Yeah. But yeah, when I first started to get into the business, what I was doing every day was waking up, going to the gym, being at the office at like 6 to 7. I was role playing with one of the other agents in the office, and we were just going back and forth in scripts. And then we were hopping on the phones for like 2 or 3 hours, calling for sell by owners, expireds, circle prospecting, where you call everyone around a house that's for sale or just sold, and letting them know, hey, this property just closed a week ago for this amount. Were you aware of this? Is your property similar? And just kind of having an open conversation and see if they would be interested in property analysis or wanting to relocate. So I did that for about, I don't know, a good year and a half, and didn't have a lot of success, although I think it taught me a lot about just having those conversations and not being scared, and really just getting a good grasp of the language of real estate. Vito, have you thought about door knocking at all?
I have not. I don't know. It's one of those things that I would prefer to do something else versus
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
So I've kind of put that on the back burner.
Yeah, that's understandable. I think one of the main things I would really try to, I don't know if you've done this already or if you've had this thought, would get together with a title rep and get a farm within Kensington and kind of see what properties have gained a lot of equity or might be on the fence of selling based off like their algorithms, and they haven't sold in 6 or 7 years, and the turnover in Kensington is typically around 6-7 years. Have you heard about doing that at all?
I have not. That's actually very interesting.
Yeah, so what's super cool about that is they can give you the homeowner's contact info. They'll give you the property address, the mailing address, if it's owner occupied or not,
Okay.
how much equity they have in the home, and really just all the info you want on them. And then if you want to write them a note, or you want to stop by, or you just give them a little gift, if it's a calendar, or give them a little what's the word I'm looking for? Like a neighborhood market analysis saying, hey, in Kensington, 21 properties have sold for 150 over ask in the past month, whatever it is. Just try to come from a place of value.
Yeah. No, I think that's fantastic. Maybe at the end I'll bug you for a title rep referral, because I don't even know who to contact for that.
Yeah, there's plenty who do a great job. So,
Okay.
Shoban, is that how you pronounce your name?
It's Siobhan with a V.
Siobhan?
It's a weird name, I know.
No worries. I wanted to make sure that I'd be pronouncing it right.
Yeah.
It's nice to meet you. I'm Joseph. Have you
Nice to
been out
meet you
of
too.
Have you?
I've been here a second, as in I just got my license last Thursday. And
nice.
I am the new buyer's agent on the Emily Holmes team.
Oh, that's awesome. I love
Thank-
her. You're in very good hands.
And lead gen is something I think both need to work on. most of her business is referral, and she's been really successful, but we have a lot of plans as to like what we're going to do to keep that growing. So it's been my first week. I went on 4 showings yesterday. So I know that's the benefit of joining a team, but that doesn't like continue. So we've gone over a lot about what I'm going to be doing, but as of this point, I am as brand new as you can get. So just
That's awesome.
learning.
Yeah, of course, you have to be learning based, right? I love that you just got your license, you're on board, and you're already going on showings. You're going to be learning so much so quickly.
I almost got to write an offer today, so it was really exciting. Really bad listing agent, bad information, not going to happen, but I almost got to do that today.
You know, I think you'll be coming into that a lot lately. There's a lot of bad listing agents out there, and it's funny. I just called Robert like a couple of days ago. I was dealing with a bad listing agent, and they wanted to write me up for bad ethics and doing all these other things. And it's just, you run into a lot of bad agents, so just expect that.
A lot of egos, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, for sure. So with your 4 showings that you just recently did, do you have any ways of potentially gaining more business, leveraging those?
This is like obviously just my first client, but I got a little bit of a head start. So I was the event planner in charge of all of the events at Petco Park, and I was working about 107 hours a week on my feet. And Emily just came up to me and said, "Hey, let's get you out of there." So I've been working as an executive assistant for her while I got licensed. So I got a little more information than I think I would have if I had just been solo. But she's been like, I'm a learner, so I just ask questions over and over and over again. So like by the time I did my first showings, I knew how to ask for them already, how to schedule them 30 minutes apart, how to make sure they're 15 minutes, how to do all this stuff. So yesterday was my first time that I got to ask for them in the MLS, and I got to plan it out and make sure the route was good. And I just got lucky. Like the clients were, they were a referral, so it will definitely bring more clients as this being my first client, because this isn't a friend. It didn't come from anywhere. And that will be good. And then also one of the things as far as showings go to generate new business, I really am going to try to hop on hard doing open houses for agents like on the weekends. I feel like regardless, it's just a way to learn, maybe meet people, probably not that many people to be honest, but meet people, but also just like practice the trade. So I feel like it does lead gen and like both sides of the business is good activity, I think.
Yeah,
But,
for sure. I think you'll definitely get some leads out of some open houses. I love open houses. I think they're a good way to get great business. You're in the boat trying to catch the fish. People are going to the open house for a specific reason. Even if they walk in and they say, "We're just looking, we live down the street, like we're not ready to move, we're not ready to buy anything," whatever it is,
they have friends.
They have friends, but they're criticizing you. They're interviewing you right when they walk in, always. I've had people call me from open houses a year after I held the open house and said, "You know what, we fell in love with you. We want you to list our house, or we want to represent you. We want you to represent us on a purchase." It's just kind of how it works sometimes. And I would highly suggest your current buyers, wherever they're looking, I would go do open houses in that area.
We're going to one tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice, but I would hold open houses in the area that your buyers are interested in. And if you'd like something to piggyback on what I just explained to Beto,
The title.
Yeah, reach out to a title rep, get all the homes that are potentially that would potentially be selling soon, And you can kind of market to those. Say, hey, I have an open house. Stop by if you'd like. I also have some clients who are interested in moving into this neighborhood. I saw that you had a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Would you be interested in selling? I know the inventory is super low, and that might be a potential listing.
That's
And you don't
amazing.
even have to do it, because Emily Holmes would come in, get the listing signed, and you kind of learn from her on that side.
Yeah.
And you get more
Yeah.
buyers from the listing.
Okay. That's a really good idea. Okay. Yeah. I want to do that.
Yeah, and it's nice because you can also go back and talk to your current buyers, and you can kind of let them know, hey, I'm actively looking for homes that aren't on the market right now, to try to give you an advantage over the public. And they're like, oh wow, there's not a lot of agents out there doing that.
That's awesome. Yeah. Okay.
I probably tell that to like 99% of my buyers. And usually they come back and give me a referral, because most agents aren't doing that.
Exceptional service above and beyond, even if it doesn't, just the fact that
Yeah.
you're doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, even if it doesn't work out, they don't end up wanting to buy. They like change their mind. They're going to keep you in mind. And I would always suggest, like, throughout the process, hey, yeah, keep me in mind if you have any referrals for any other people that might be looking to buy or sell. Andrea, how's it going? You've been a little quiet.
Sorry, I had a little pet accident I had to deal with, so missed some of the class, but I'm
It
here
happens
now.
sometimes.
Yeah, it's just like having a baby.
Yeah.
But I take responsibility for it. I rushed to class. I didn't let them out, so it's my fault.
Have you been crushing the open houses?
Actually, I got back from vacation last week and just haven't really been feeling great since I've been back, but I'm starting to feel better today, and I'm just gonna start getting back into the business next week. But I made an exception this week to do Ignite, so I've just been kind of taking it easy, but I'm trying to just find my wings, and I'm trying to work on preparing myself for when I do give listing appointments and meet up with buyers, do the visual part on the presentation, so I'll look good. And I got some really nice referral letters from some of my they're still my agents and people that I know, to write nice things about me. So I've got that going for me now, which is good. And so I guess I'm just still, taking baby steps, and
Good. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we have this class. I think every agent needs to realize that this class is probably one of the most important classes, because if we're not doing lead generation, if we're not putting this at the top of our priority list, we're not eating. We're not getting the business we need to continue the life that we want. I have a sticky note here on my desktop. It says, until the number one thing is finished, everything else is a distraction. This is a quote from Gary Keller. And the one thing, if you haven't read it, is a book we live by here. And, it's all about lead generation. So here it is. It's probably backwards, I'm not sure. But I get back in. What was that?
It wasn't backwards. It was fine.
Okay. Yeah, I would say, get back into it, get into the groove. You can't catch the fish if you're not in the boat.
Very true. And I feel like my strengths are like face-to-face talking to people, because I've been an entertainer for so long. So that's what I'd like to focus on, and do door knocking, and just put myself out there.
Yeah. How long does it take for you to do a how do you say it? Caricature?
I don't even use that word in my business. I just say cartoon drawing or cartoon portrait.
Drawing. Okay. How long does it take?
For at an event, they take about 5 minutes per person.
So
I
you
can-
could do this at an open house.
No, I don't want to do that at an open house. I'd rather hire somebody to do like face painting or balloons, just so I can focus on the people walking in the door.
Yeah.
Because it's like I'd be spreading myself too thin. It'd be like you were working on your car and doing an open house. It's kind of like a lot to focus on.
Yeah.
But I could-
Especially nowadays when you're getting like 20, 30 people in an open house, right?
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of people are already represented with agents. So I really want to just put on my A game and just stay focused on, like being present and just giving them my full attention and, answering all their questions.
Yeah. Are you letting the neighbors know about your open house before or after?
No, but I need to do that. I haven't done an open house in a while, not since the one I saw you at. It's been a minute.
Okay.
But I want to get back into it. I have a couple of custom signs, and I did have a couple of agents reach out to me for this weekend, but I'm just, still kind of feeling blah. But next week I'm going to get back into it.
Okay.
And I enjoy doing it because I actually feel like a real estate agent when I'm at an open house, like I'm in that
Yeah.
role.
Yeah, in the flesh. Is there any, do you have any like ways or process of choosing your open houses, or do you just try to choose them as they come because they're open, or do you try to stick to a certain neighborhood, or?
Well, right now I'm just kind of trying to find the agents in our market center that are going to have an availability to host an open house that I can jump on. I haven't looked at other avenues. So
Nice.
yeah, it is something I'd like to do more of.
I know me, when I was doing a lot of open houses, I was doing them every day of the week, the same house, a vacant house in a neighborhood that I liked, that I knew, that I was comfortable with,
Mm-hmm.
and really just leaving my signs out as much as possible. Vito, I know you said you're friends with the other top producers in Kensington. Do you think they'd let you hold open a listing for them?
Really
I know
good
they have
point.
some buyers agents, right?
They do. That's the problem. Alicia asked me that same question. She's my coach, and I haven't asked, so it's on me. I haven't asked. I've been hesitant to ask though, because I have watched, and they do have buyers agents, and they do, so that they've got their own kind of teams that are helping, supporting that.
Yeah.
So I'm not necessarily sure. And then what I've done instead though is I've reached out to agents who actually got a listing in Kensington, kind of almost, randomly, where they really
They know them or something.
they must have known them. They're not from the neighborhood. They really don't have much kind of coverage. If you think of, like their name, like I'm not aware of it.
Yeah.
And oftentimes what I find is that they're living somewhere else. So I've reached out in a couple cases and said, hey, listen, that house is down the street from me. I would love to do an open house. And explain it. And I've never, actually a couple people never even got back to me. And a couple people have said, hey, thank you, but we don't allow, a competing brokerage to host, one of our listings. So no one has kind of opened that door. So, I mean, maybe I do have to just get off my high horse and ask Tristani or ask Patrick and see what they say. All they can do is say no, and then I'll be in the same place. And if one of them says yes, I'll be in a better place. So, but I have been hesitant to ask.
Yeah, I would kind of push to say, like, wouldn't you rather me have the business here in Kensington than someone else randomly? Like, there can be 2 or 3 specialists in one area. I think there's enough business for everyone, because I think they know as well that they can't get 100% of the business.
Yeah, that's true.
There's going to be 1 or 2 people that they don't mesh with. I mean, that's our industry.
Exactly. So
I just thought of something too. The few open houses I have been involved in, a couple of them have been so busy. Like there was a line out the block for people waiting to come in. And I was kind of doing crowd control when I was shadowing. And I think it would be good to maybe just make yourself available to people that are already hosting open house to co-host with them. If you think it's going to be a really busy day, And that way you get to take a break. You get to actually like run to the bathroom or eat something, imagine that. I mean, they can be really overwhelming. So it's definitely takes the pressure off if you're in a busy area to have another agent with you, and it just makes it more fun. But you have to agree ahead of time to split the leads and do it in writing.
Yeah, I personally wouldn't do that.
No, you'd handle it all yourself?
Yeah, I would probably not do like a hot home, like one that's just recently listed. I'd probably do one that's been like, I don't know, 14, 21 days on the market. Probably something a little bit overpriced.
Do those still exist?
Yeah, for sure. They're still out there. They're rare, but I would definitely pick them out on the MLS. And
I
I'm
saw
sure
two yesterday. I went to 2 showings yesterday that were overpriced and sitting on the market for over 30 days.
Wow.
Where were they at?
They were in Vista.
Okay. Yeah. And you always have some of those looky-loos, some of those neighbors that just kind of, I want to go see the neighbor's house and what it looks like. What's it listed for?
But they could be like a pipeline in the future, right? Like somebody that might be interested in selling at some point in the future.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I'm going to play a video for you guys. It's about cold calling. Can you guys see it? Yeah. Let me know. I'm gonna press play. Let me know if you can't hear it for some reason. Can you hear it?
No, it's breaking. Are you doing bold right now, Joseph?
I am. I signed up. I will be there Tuesday.
Good for you. Yeah,
it'll be, I don't know, my 3rd bold.
Wow.
Yeah, the first one I did it with Cody Gibson in the same building. So I'm super excited about that. I don't normally go to session 1 just because doesn't really start till session 2, kind of.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I will be there. Will you?
Well, not this time around. I'm focusing on Ignite, but I'd like to do it next year when it comes around again.
Nice.
I guess part of it too is like with COVID and everything, I just don't totally feel ready to be in a room full of people yet.
Yeah, that's understandable.
I know it's an excuse though.
That is true. There's this bold law that says you can have excuses or you can have reasons, but you can't have both. I don't know if that's right. I'll double check.
I guess I just don't feel ready yet.
Yeah. Honestly, and you know what? You never will be. You never will be. But going there, you learn something new every time. You're going to be uncomfortable no matter what. They make you call everyone you know. They make you talk to 100 people in a day. It's just getting uncomfortable. But I've always gotten 1 or 2 deals every time I go to bold.
Really?
It always pays for itself.
That's really good to know.
Yeah. Okay, let me try this video again. Hear it? No. Weird. Let's see.
Hi, my name is Dylan Bravache. How about Bravache? We're from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. We're the real estate brothers. Cold calling is like adding jet fuel fuel to your car or something. Like it pumps your business up. We went from making, what was our first year, like 70K, and then this year together we did 1,000,001. So don't get ready to start thinking about how you're going to eventually do something. Just do it. Like just do it. Done. Just get on the phone. Yeah. And if you hate money, don't do it. If you're not cheap like we are, you don't want to spend a ton of money on the web or print. Telephone lines, you pay a monthly bill and you can call all you want.
Soaring prices, mass shortages. What's next? Hi, I'm Chris Hurt here, and if you're like most people, you may have noticed some strange things popping up in the news lately, because once again, the word crisis is being thrown around, and yet this is unlike anything we have seen before. Major automakers from GM to Toyota are shutting down their factories. Analysts are warning that Christmas, as we know it, may not happen this year. And massive food distributor Cisco says it's going to have trouble stocking grocery store shelves. And this is not because of a recession. It's not because of a virus, not because of a new lockdown.
Oh, are we done?
One of the biggest battles going.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. Just kept on going, huh?
I was just like, what are we watching? What's going on?
It's kind of like Netflix. It just went to the next one.
Good thing it's just YouTube. My screen can kind of be weird sometimes. Let's see here. What else do we have? Are you guys keeping up with your homework? Kind of. What are some of the struggles you've been having with the homework?
Well, I had a setback this week. That's kind of what's been going on with me. When I went on vacation, a friend of mine that I've been talking to a little bit, she's an escrow. So I guess I shouldn't let it get to me, but it bothers me.
Yeah, you gotta have that right mindset, right?
Right. I need to get into the right mindset.
So this add new 10 contacts, is it daily? Yeah. Have you guys been taking that serious at all?
I have, but also I'm in the really first exciting week where nothing's uncomfortable. I just get to call everyone I know and tell them that I passed the real estate exam in California. So that's like, I wanted to capitalize on that week because it's the easiest way to do it, like.
Yeah, that's the perfect conversation to have.
Yeah.
How are those conversations going? Like, what are they saying?
I feel like this is the amount of tension I would get if I were to do something like get married, except for it means more because I worked for it, people are just like extremely like excited and genuinely happy and just, like congratulations and like, I'll let my friends know. But then again, I'm also, 32 and I, the height of the millennial generation. I don't know really if a lot of my friends like tell your parents, like, a lot of my friends aren't in a place where they're going to be anywhere near even having a down payment for a home, but they know people. So
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And, being 28 years old, I've had a lot of those same conversations with my friends. And I think most of them still think that they need like 20% to buy a house. I don't even think some of them realize that. So I would try to come from a place of contribution and sharing facts and ideas and the actual steps to buy a house. And, they might be super interested one day.
That's the other problem. That's why this class is so important to me. I've lived in 6-7 cities. So my sphere of influence in San Diego, even though I'm an extroverted person who knows people in other places, I I really need to work on building my database here in San Diego. And a lot of that's going to come from outside my sphere of influence until they can be included in my sphere of influence. So
Yeah, I can totally understand that. Are you pretty heavily involved on your social media?
I mean, no. I used to
No.
be. I used to use it a lot when I traveled and stuff. Like I think I have like maybe 450 followers on Instagram. Not nothing, but it's not, everything needs to grow. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Do you have any plans to grow in your sphere here in San Diego?
I really want to do open houses, but I really want to do meetups. I feel like our generation is full of like side hustlers and people just trying to meet people. And I there's always, like, Emily had an idea. She got asked to join a book club and she's too busy to read. And she was like, "No, I don't want to join your book club." And then the person goes, she goes, "Wait, is there a realtor on the book club?" And they said no. And she's like, "Sign me up. I'll read the book." Like
There you
that
go.
kind, like that
There
kind
you
of
go.
stuff. So like that's really what I'm gonna be focusing on, because there are like, I just left a really, really demanding industry that was really hard to work in. I'm not Nikki said something on the last class that really stuck with me, and it's like your spheres will influence your database, people that you want to work with. There are like hard limits I will not do, like call an old abusive boss and be like, "Hey, I'm in real estate now." So if you're not willing to make those uncomfortable calls, I feel like you have to make up the numbers somewhere else, and that comes with meeting people. So
Yeah, I completely agree. And if you're friends with that old evil boss on your social media, and he's looking at your post or your story one day of you sharing some tips or some education towards real estate, it's like, oh, you know what? I didn't know that. Maybe she could help me when I'm interested in moving.
that's the other thing, cleaning up social media and making it public. There's another goal.
Yeah, agreed. Um, I love Annalise' intentionality, if you want to say, with joining that book club. I think I kind of live my life like that. If
That's
it's
amazing.
joining a book club, a softball team, a kickball team, going to trivia night with friends that I've never met before. Trivia night, you could have a trivia night towards real estate at one of the places in Kensington. I'm sure Mercer's not getting that involved in something like that. And you could be meeting 25, 30 people at Ponzi's one night doing trivia night. And you can kind of say, "Hey, I'm part of the board here in Kensington." That'd be something that's super informational, right? If it's baby showers, if it's um, anything, I feel like I'm going to parties 3 or 4 times a week, just so I can meet new people, be intentional, be purposeful, add them onto my social media, and they see what I do. I don't even bring up real estate, but I think that's kind of where a lot of my business is coming from: meeting new friends, friends of friends, friends of family members, adding them on social media, and then them seeing my listing video, or clients giving me a shout out for a review, something in those regards.
How often are you doing your videos too? They're pretty cool.
Which ones?
Well, I mean, just the ones that I see that are the what are they called? The ones that only last for 24 hours.
Oh, the stories?
Yeah.
Like a walkthrough video of a home?
Yeah, or just, I mean, all the stuff you post, I like it.
I don't do it as much as I should. There's a time where I was doing it every day. I would do a walkthrough video of a house every day. If I go on 4 showings one day, I'll make sure to get to the house early, do a walkthrough video, save it to my phone. I don't have to post it that day. But 4 days, 4 homes in one day, I have 4 videos of a walkthrough of a house that's for sale. And then I'll post it on to my story every 4 days. So I have content just backed up. so my sphere can see it. You know, like, oh, you know, I really like that house. It's in La Mesa. How much is it for? How many beds and bath? And then I kind of take those notes that they're asking for and then apply it in their database contact info. And then I circle back with them in like a month or a few weeks. Say, hey, I saw another property that was 3 bedrooms, 2 baths in La Mesa that you kind of asked for. Would you be interested in it?
Joseph, are those your listings or just anything?
Anybody's listings. If I'm showing a client a home that they're interested in buying, I make sure to get there early, do a walkthrough video, and then post it onto my story.
That's good because it shows that you're really active too as a real estate agent.
Yeah, when I was doing no business, I was making sure I do that every day, and that's why your Ignite homework is preview 10 homes, right? Not just so you can post it to your social media, but you can, when you're actively lead gen, you're doing lead generation, you have like, you sound knowledgeable about the homes on the market in the area. If that makes sense.
Definitely. And then you can also meet other agents that way too if you're doing the caravans.
Yeah, the caravans are amazing. If you guys don't know what those are, they have these meetings with other agents. They're pitching their new listings, their coming soon properties for these specific areas. If it's North County, if it's Mid-City, if it's East County, probably once a week. Even if you go on to on HomeSnap or the MLS, they'll show you all the agent open houses. So you don't even need to go to the meetings, but you can see what houses are open just to real estate agents. So you can kind of.
How do you find that resource?
I use HomeSnap. It's the app on my phone or the website, and then I go to filter homes in a certain area, and then there's a category that says agent open houses. There's probably a way on the MLS as well. I would there's an MLS Paragon support line that you can call, and they can kind of walk you through it.
Okay.
It's funny you should bring this up. I actually just looked that up. Somebody else mentioned something about that, and I looked it up, and I did find it on the MLS. And there is a caravan, and like I was able to zero in and say, okay, like when would the neighborhood that I want to farm, when is that? But the thing I didn't understand is it looked like it was at a Zoom. Is it a Zoom meeting or is it in person?
I think it varies on the neighborhood and which caravan, because I know some people are still weary about COVID, as they should. So a lot of people aren't doing the in-home or the public in-person caravans.
Okay.
So I would just log on to the Zoom. It'll probably be similar to this, and you know they're going through their listings, their coming soons, and I think it's a great way to also network with a lot of the other agents. Yeah, there's countless times where I've met other agents, and down the line it helps me get my clients' offer accepted.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do it next. It's Tuesday from like 10 to 1 or something. I'm gonna check it out. I haven't done it yet, but I just researched that.
Yeah, if you can, I've been meaning to do it too. I need to.
Do you dress like business casual for those? Or just casual? It doesn't matter.
I'm always casual.
I know. The only time I've ever seen you dressed up is in your photo.
Yeah. I learned super quick. I mean, as long as I bring some value, it's okay.
So should I return this like expensive suit I just bought?
No, hold on to it.
No, it's not that expensive, but I was like, it was only like $200, I guess, for a suit. It's not that expensive, but I was like, and then I have to get it tailored. It's gonna be another like $100-something. I'm like, I made $0. I'm at a loss right now with like paying for all these things. So I'm like, and everyone's so chill here. But I knew that about San Diego. I still want to have like a few things on deck just in case, you know.
I would say, you know, you can never get the first impression back. I don't think you can be, like they always say, I don't think you can be overdressed or overeducated.
Very true.
So I think hold on to that suit, and you'll have $1 million listing appointment. You can wear it pretty soon.
You never know.
Yeah, listing appointments. I'm always in a suit, but that's probably it.
What about with your buyer appointments?
Buyer appointments.
You're more yourself.
For myself, they need to feel like they can trust me. And
Yeah.
oh.
Well, when I
Carl
saw
once
you at
said-
the, sorry.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say when I saw Joe at an open house that I was hosting, he was very casual, the way he was dressed with his clients. So I thought, wow, you couldn't really even tell that he was an agent, to tell you the truth. But
Yeah, and I think that was Jerry. I think Jerry was wearing sandals and knee-high socks with a tank top.
So you were matching them because like you all looked really casual together.
And I think that's one of the things that I go into kind of knowing, I kind of try to match them. If they're dressing up, then I'll dress up a little bit more and kind of weigh out that option from the first time we meet.
Yeah, it was a really hot day too. So I kind of wanted to be more casual than I was, but I like to dress up a little nice for the open houses, look professional. But
yeah, you're meeting a lot of people, and there's a lot of traffic. You want them to be able to tell who the agent is pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. But I like that you match people, just like in scripts, like we're supposed to match the people that we talk to on the phone, kind of match their energy and stuff. So
it's all about mirror and matching, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what else we have here. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Are you guys all going to scripts class with Steven and Carl?
I've been trying.
I probably catch it one to two times a week.
Nice.
They're good. I mean, the guy's brilliant. He's fast on his feet.
I haven't yet, but I will.
Nice. I
really
highly
love this
recommend it.
class.
So do I. It's one of the main reasons why I joined this office.
Wow.
Yep. I don't go anymore, but when I was a newer agent here, I went every day for 6-8 months in person, and it changed my business. It really did.
I wonder if he's ever going to go back to doing in person, or if it's always going to be Zoom from now on, since he's living in Orange County as well as San Diego.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be Zoom, which is fine.
Yeah.
He's busy. So anyways, I brought scripts up because with as you, sorry, I think you guys can see my screen, right? Yeah, okay. With this slide, I brought up scripts because as you're lead genning and getting leads to come in, you can kind of see where you need to work. If it's the amount of leads that are coming in, or if you're able to convert them from leads to appointments, or from appointments to agreements to contracts. So you can kind of see where it is that you need to work in the conversations you're having, if that makes sense. So I typically went to scripts because I was getting a crazy amount of leads, and because I was doing open houses 5-6 days out of the week, and I wasn't converting them to appointments. I simply found out that I wasn't asking for the appointment as I was meeting up with them. I think that's crucial. If you're not asking to sit down and go over the buyer representation agreement or the listing appointment, you're not going to get it, right? Even if they have an agent sometimes, I would ask them, are you having success? Are you happy with your agent? What are some of the things that your agent is advising you to do to get your offer accepted? I ask those questions all the time. Because yeah, you know, they probably do have an agent, but if they've written offers on 20 homes and not getting their offer accepted, there's probably a good reason why.
How long did it take for you to have that light bulb go off where you decided to ask for the business? Because I feel like for myself right now, I'm having trouble converting too. And I think part of it is like I get stymied. I don't know what to say, or I'm not saying the right things. Like maybe I'm just letting them off the hook too easy.
I couldn't tell you the amount of time. It was probably, I don't know, probably like 5-6 months. And I remember the exact time that it happened though. It was at the end of my first bold session. I don't know if you guys know Peggy Levin in our office. She's been in the business for, I don't know, 20-25 years as an agent. We took the same bold class from the very beginning, and we role played, we memorized all the scripts. We would call each other at 4:30, 4:40 in the morning on the phone and go over scripts and role play. And it wasn't until I started doing open houses every day and having a conversation with Steven saying, hey, you know, you have a good amount of leads coming in every week and you're just not converting them. You have to start having the conversation, start practicing with Peggy, my scripts and dialogue partner, and start asking for the business and sitting down, asking for the appointment. It was really just like a math equation where it went off for me. You know, with this certain amount of leads, you should have this amount of closings. There's an equation for it all, if that makes sense. Let's see what else we have here. Five minutes. That video wasn't 5 minutes, was it? It was like 30 seconds, right? Page 23. Weird.
I definitely need to practice the scripts and role play like what you're saying. I think that's gonna help a lot.
Yeah, it's really just being quick on your feet, right? I mean, it's better to practice with a partner than to practice at the open house with the clients. That was 30 seconds. Oh, here we go. Ignite 3.
Cool. So I'll say where we're from and then you give directions. Is that all right? Hi, my name is Dylan Provenche. I'm Sean Provenche. We're from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. We're the Real Estate Brothers. 2014, we wrote 72 transactions for $47 million. Sean and I are very lucky because we're actually fairly entrepreneurial in sales. So we were able to just sort of survive by luck and by just sort of being likable and nice. We had a decent business that wasn't growing. We did a lot of door knocking originally, but what we found was with bad weather, plus you have to drive to door knock, it was just too much of a wild card. If we were to grow the business, we needed to add people to our database, and if we were going to do that, we needed a systematic way that we knew we could achieve results that were predictable. So we just kind of started cold calling about 3 hours a day, and we found that the results were phenomenal. Come take a look where we made this whole time. You can literally do it from your kitchen. It's just more time effective. Yeah. If you're cheap like we are, you don't want to spend a ton of money on the web or print. Telephone lines, you pay a monthly bill and you can call all you want. Why don't you come in here and show you the cold calling? You got a map where we've broken the entire city into zones. We like to target areas where we have fires. It's been scrubbed to the do not call list, and it still represents over 250,000 phone numbers. All of our desks have 3 monitors. We have Mojo in the middle. We have our scripts on the right. And then on the left, do some research on the house they're calling for, stuff like that. Cold calling is like adding jet fuel to your car or something. Like it pumps your business up. We went from making, what was our first year, like 70K, and then this year together we did 1,000,001. So this is Sean calling from the Real Estate Brothers. You know what? I'm so sorry to bug you today, but I just noticed that you have to treat cold calling as though it's an appointment. If you don't prioritize it, things will always find their way in and block you from being able to do it. It's the most important thing you can do for your business. Absolutely most important. And you have to quantify it as well. The bold 100 contacts a week is a really, really cool way to set a bar and get started and stick to it. Whatever you're just. I was just wondering, is there any change in your plans? You still thinking this spring, get it on the mud? You can't think today was a bad cold calling day, because today doesn't matter. What matters is what you accomplish in a year. And if you just keep adding people to your database and systematically follow up with them and take care of the people who you work for, you'll do great. You're not always going to have great success every day, but it's by doing it every day that you have great success. We're going to be in the neighborhood for the next 2 weeks giving free evaluations. You know what I'd love to do? I'll say too that one thing that we were afraid of, and I think everyone is just the rejection side of things. People being mean to you on the phone and rude. We have this saying with our team that you're either part of our future or part of our past, and either way it's fine. The people who are rude to us are obviously not going to be part of our future. Have a chuckle about it. Like, honestly, when someone cusses at me or something, I just laugh. It's funny. Do you think that it might make sense for us to put something tentatively for the weekend? The more time you spend not on the phone, you're losing money, because that 3 hours of my day is my 20% where I make my money. Don't get ready to start thinking about how you're going to eventually do something. Just do it. Like, just do it. Done. Stop watching this video. Get off your butt and go start dialing numbers and talking to people. Just get on the phone. Yeah. And if you hate money, don't do it. Yeah. I think.
It's funny.
Hey guys, welcome to Forward. We're a new type of doctor's office that's providing.
You guys ready to cold call?
They're motivating.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Have you guys cold called at all?
I did a little circle prospecting with the MyPlus leads prior to an open house I did. So I talked to like 25
was it to invite everyone? To
invite all the neighbors to come. Mm-hmm.
Nice. How'd it go?
I left voicemails too.
Nice.
I don't know what do you feel about that? Like, do you think it's a good use of your time to leave voicemails?
I've had this conversation a lot. Some people do, some people don't. You know, there's systems out there like, what's it called? Slide dial,
Mm-hmm.
where you can get a number, 500 numbers, and slide dial will let you record a voicemail or record something, and then it will send a voicemail to all of those 500 numbers without even calling them. It'll say it rang, and then it'll go straight to their voicemail. So some people think it's beneficial. I know some people who cold call all day but never leave a voicemail at all. So it's all kind of up for interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you guys have any questions about cold calling and some of the systems that you can use, feel free to reach out to me. I've done it a very long time. I used to have a 3-line dialer where you have 3 lines and they're calling a person each second, and then whoever picks up first, the other 2 lines go on pause while you talk to that person. And then when you hang up, the 3 lines start dialing again. So you can really call a lot of people at once. I think I was making like 25 contacts a day, calling about like 800 to 1,000 people within like 3 or 4 hours. But it's not something that I really like to do or I enjoy. But a lot of people, that's all they do all day, every day, and they're really good at it.
Do you have a different technique now, or do you still do it?
No, I don't cold call at all. I'm thinking about it because my 2022 goals are pretty frightening, to tell you the truth, and I need another lever of lead generation to try to fill that gap of closings for 2022. But I don't know. We'll see. I still have some time, so I don't know if I'll pick the phone back up and start calling again. I'll probably just start doing open houses.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to ask, like, when you do cold call, do you think it's better to use a dialer or just, because I've been just using my cell phone?
I would use a dialer, to tell you the truth.
You think it's a good investment?
Yeah, if you're gonna stick to it 2-3 hours a day and just hammer it out, I can't stand going down the list and saying, oh, I'll call these people, here's the number, and then you punch it in, rather than getting the list, uploading it into the dialer, pressing one button, and then it calling 3 people at once, and then the next 3 without even putting in the phone numbers. But I would only suggest it if you're really going to dedicate yourself to dialing. You know, you'll probably go a couple months without getting an appointment. That's kind of just how it is. It's a numbers game for sure, just like the guys are saying.
And then when you're doing the cold calling, do you call people in your farm?
Me specifically, I don't. I've never really had a farm, but there's a lot of people that do. I think a lot of the main cold callers that sit down and call all day, they're calling people in their farm. They're calling people that are in a surrounding area of a home that just sold to let the neighbors know what that property sold for. Or if a property is just listed, they're informing them about the just listed property as well. A lot of people have great success with circle prospecting, calling people and letting them know about the homes that just listed or just sold. Neighbors love to know the values of their homes in their neighborhood, right?
Yeah, and then plus it gives you a purpose for calling.
Exactly. Let's see what else we have here.
Well, if you do invest in getting a dialer, I don't know if I would do 3 at once, like what you were talking about, but like, which one would you recommend?
Mojo dialer. You can get the data from there, and you can choose to have a 3-line dialer or 1 line. There's that one, and there's also Vulcan 7. I think they have a dialer as well.
I've heard RedX is good.
Yeah. There's they're all competitors, so
Yeah.
I think they all try to keep it competitive with the services they offer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to go through the slides, see if I missed anything. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask away.
Are you sharing your screen?
No. These slides are kind of boring. I'm going to see if I can get this other video up for you guys too.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
If we don't have a can you hear me?
Yeah. Is that Unit?
Yes.
Yeah. What's going on?
Sorry, I'm sort of driving and it kind of breaks, so I don't know. But if we don't have the dialer, but we have the list from the title company, do you have any recommendations for scrubbing the numbers? Because the ones that I get, they're not scrubbed for the do not call list.
Oh, they're on the do not call list.
Well, they don't scrap the numbers, so I don't know which ones are and which ones are not on the do not call list.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Who's your rep? Who's your title rep?
Ryan from
Ryan White.
Lawyers Title.
Have you asked him that? I feel like he should be able to figure out which ones are on the do not call list.
I did ask him, and he said that he just gets the list like that. He doesn't say if they are or they're not. Or at least that's what I understood.
We're actually just joined by a great cold caller, Mr. Michael Law. Mike, do you know how to scrub the list from title to see if those numbers on do not call?
Someone's got some crazy feedback, by the way.
Someone turn off their sound.
How's that? Is that better? Yeah. Sorry about that.
What was the question?
So Yaneth gets a list of phone numbers and contacts for a certain area. She wants to know, because she doesn't have a dialer, if there's a way to scrub those numbers to see who's on the do not call list.
Yeah, I've never done it manually. Obviously, you can check it on the DNC list, but for the most part, when you get a list, whether it's from title or from like My Plus Leads or something, you could filter it to not include any numbers on the DNC. That's what I've done. Again, I don't.
I guess you could get that list and just put it into the My Plus Leads, right? And then have My Plus Leads do the scrub.
Possibly. I just get the clean data up front. I don't try to think too much about it, and just do it. That's the key thing, is don't look at the numbers, just do it. Just plug it in there and let it call.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, if you call it a do not call number and they get upset, what are you going to tell them? I'm sorry. Hang up. Just be courteous. You know, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were on the do not call list. Never call you again. Take you off my list. Sorry about that. I'm sure Broker Bob's over there shaking his head. But it's how it goes sometimes. You know, you're doing the work, it'll pay off. Yeah, of course. Andrea?
What times do you feel are good to block out for dialing?
That's a great question. You know, people talk about that all the time. I think the best time is when you're going to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, like don't overthink it. The best ones do it at the beginning of the day. It's one of their first tasks. It's like my little sticky note. Until the number one thing is finished, everything else is distraction.
Mm-hmm.
Andrea, this week's scripts, actually, it's funny, that question came up and Steven said, I want to say that the best windows of opportunity were like 8 to 10 in the morning. And then he kind of said two different things, because he said 4 to 6 in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Then he said kind of you could start as early as after 2 in the afternoon. He said, but that kind of that midday, mid-morning to mid-afternoon, he's like, just much less success in getting people to actually kind of pick up.
Okay.
Yeah, I've experienced, getting to the homeowner before the days ruin their mood. I know I would be grumpy before the day hit me. I'm gonna see if I can get this video up for you guys. Give me 1 second.
While you're getting that loaded, I would just say, I think we're all different. Everyone functions a little bit differently. Some people are morning people, some people are late afternoon people. So use a time where you know your energy is right to make the call. Because it's all they have is your voice and your attitude. They can't see your body language. So you come off with good attitude, positive energy, mirror match. You'll have a higher chance of booking an appointment than not.
Agreed.
Mike, thank you for being here. I want to ask you the same question that I asked Joe, like about dialers. Like, do you feel it's like a really good investment, or like what are your thoughts on dialers?
If you are gonna dial and be hitting the phones, they are definitely a good investment. Again, you have to use it though, right? Or else it's, I don't know. I was on a triple dialer before they went to single dialer for like $100 some odd a month. As long as you're using it, they're all the same.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Do they all have scripts with them too, or is it best just to do scripts on your own?
With Mojo, they do have pre-populated scripts on there that you could load, depending on what type of calls you're making.
Mm-hmm.
For me, we've taken, you guys are in scripts practice, I imagine. That stuff is like ingrained in you. So I never really read off scripts because it's already up here. Yeah.
That's so good. I love it. I want to be you when I grow up.
Two crazy kids screaming at you and trying to find a room that's quiet to hide.
No, I mean as a real estate agent, because you're so good at what you do.
Thank you. I mean, we all start at the same spot. I'll tell you that. Yeah.
I cannot find this video to come up, so we're gonna have to skip it. But I just kind of wanted to open it back up to you guys, see if you had any other questions.
Well, one thing I wanted to say to Mike, when I was shadowing Carmen, it was when I first started doing the open houses, and the one that we did for you was like so crazy. Like we had a line around the block and it was just busy the entire time. And she kept thanking me like profusely all day, like, thank you so much for being here. Cause it was like so overwhelming. There were so many people. And I want to commend you too for, being there at the beginning of the day and just making us both feel really welcome. And also for just pricing it right too, because people were really excited to see that house. And, it just made our job so much easier. And the house was beautiful. It wasn't staged, but they had like a slideshow in the living room, and it was just really a beautiful house. And it was like an adrenaline rush all day long.
That's just me paying it forward. The very first open house I did was for our very own Vinny, and it was in somewhere in the ghetto, right? But it was a great listing. It showed really well. He also priced it extremely good, and that was my very first open house with Yuri. And in those 3 hours, I think we probably had like 70, 80 people come through. Right?
Crazy.
So just paying it forward, it's something that now like when you go on a listing appointment and you have that objection about price, firsthand what you saw and what you felt, right? And you could speak to that and tell the story of what you experienced with that listing.
So you tell people, like, if the house is priced right, that there will be lines around the block of people waiting to go see the house?
Absolutely. if it's priced right and priced aggressive, the line will be there.
Yep.
Yeah, like even, our recent listing in La Jolla at 2.6 million.
Mhm.
I would, I don't do too much luxury, but I never thought there could be a line for something like that.
Yeah.
So me and my client went back and forth, and she was stuck on that number. I was like, no, we have to be XYZ.
Mhm.
And she's like, it doesn't work for this price point. This is La Jolla. It doesn't work like that. Things in the market stay on forever and you get below ask. I was like, I just let her sit on it. I told her the story. I told her the data, and eventually she agreed to price it $100,000 less than what we think it will go for.
And that's not even that much less.
No, it's not that much. It's not that much. You're right. But it's still, the key thing is less.
So what happened?
We didn't do an open house, but it was all private showings for 2 days. It was completely booked. And we had 7 offers, all above ask, all over 2.5 million.
Wow. Yeah. Just for pricing it right.
Pricing it right. And then that's the big part, right?
Yeah.
If you could get them to agree on the price, and then everything else that you do with it.
Well, when you say everything else, what else is that?
You got to make it shine. In this market, if you're going to sell it for top dollar, you got to make it shine. Buyers are pushing back. I'm sure a lot of you guys are working with buyers, and if it's got the slightest flaw, they're like, even if they get their offer accepted, there's a good chance they'll get cold feet and back out. So it's got to shine. It's got to be near flawless if you're gonna command those type of numbers.
Staging it and making sure it's fixed up really nice.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, to prepare a house to show, before it goes in the market, like how long can that take? Is it just different for every deal? Yeah,
it's totally different. I mean, the one before that, our Chula Vista one, that took 3 months to get ready, right? And every seller is different. Every property is different. They all have their own challenges and stories and their own goals, right? The La Jolla one took 2 weeks from signing to getting an offer accepted.
That's so crazy. But it seems like you've been doing this for so long that you kind of know like what the needs are going to be when you talk to them, right? Like, that's just the questions, right? It goes back to the script. You're asking the right questions. I haven't been doing this very long, actually. I mean, like, I think 5-6 years, something like that. So not that long. But it just all comes back to asking questions and hearing people out. Don't assume. Mm-hmm. Gaining their trust. Same thing, that the questions you're asking while you're building your business, right, and prospecting, you're still asking questions when you have the appointment. It's even more important.
Clarity is power.
That's right. Look at dropping bold knowledge on the group.
They kept asking about it. I was telling them about our first bold session.
Everyone in this call should be doing it. I'll tell you that. I'm doing it. Joseph, you're doing it, right?
Yep, I'll be there. And it's with Cody Gibson too, so I love it. He's so inspiring.
Eye candy?
No. No. Maybe for Paul. Yes. So guys, is there anything else that you'd like to discuss? Any questions? I will put my number and email in the chat box, so you guys feel free to reach out to me if anything else comes up. I always make myself available for you guys. And that'll be it. It was nice meeting you guys, and good luck with your business. Be bold, really put yourself out there, be vulnerable, and do your lead gen, because that's the number one way you're going to be successful.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Chris, thank you guys. Have a great week.